Diamond Sutra Lecture 01. Why learn how to learn the Diamond Sutra? Hello everyone. Starting today, we will embark on a journey together to study a very important scripture in Buddhism, the Diamond Sutra. I believe this course should achieve two goals. First, we will study the Diamond Sutra verse by verse to accurately convey and understand its Dharma meaning. This is the first point. Second, we will not limit ourselves to the Diamond Sutra. We will use this opportunity to systematically and comprehensively sort out the framework of Buddhist thought, especially Mahayana Buddhism. Through this course, we can gain a comprehensive understanding of the theoretical and practical systems of Mahayana Buddhism. To achieve these two goals, our discussions will strive for clarity and simplicity. Our goal is to use language that is easy to understand. Buddhism originated in India, and its founder, Shakyamuni Buddha, is a true intellectual giant in the history of human civilization. In modern times, there was an existentialist philosopher in Germany named Karl Jaspers, who proposed the concept of the axial age. He summarized the past 3,000 years of human civilization and concluded that four sages had the most profound and far-reaching influence on human civilization. Who are these four? Socrates, Shakyamuni Buddha, Confucius, and Jesus. Especially in modern times, after a large number of Buddhist scriptures were translated into Western languages, Buddhism has had a huge impact on modern Western philosophy, Western thought, and some intellectual masters. For example, we can clearly see the influence of Buddhism in the works and thoughts of philosophical masters such as Schopenhauer, Husserl, Heidegger, Sartre, and Wittgenstein. Through Wittgenstein, Buddhism also had a huge impact on the postmodernist trend that emerged in the second half of the last century. For example, postmodernist anti-essentialism is deeply influenced by Mahayana Buddhism, especially the Madhyamaka school of Mahayana Buddhism. More importantly, the influence of Buddhism continues to expand today. From Asia to Europe to America, the number of its followers is steadily increasing worldwide. Although Buddhism has been around for over 2,500 years, it is still full of vitality. If you are a Buddhist, it is certainly necessary to have a comprehensive understanding of Shakyamuni Buddha's thoughts. Even if you are not a Buddhist and do not believe in Buddhism, it is still necessary to have some understanding of such a thinker and thought system that has had a huge impact on humanity. Therefore, we want to use this opportunity on Himalaya FM, through this course on the Diamond Sutra, to establish a good connection with Buddhists and friends who love Buddhism. May everyone be auspicious. Now, let's begin our study of the Diamond Sutra. The name Diamond Sutra is a colloquial term used by ordinary people. The full name of this sutra is the Diamond Prajnaparamita Sutra. As you know, Buddhism originated in India. In India, Buddhist thought was recorded and transmitted using Indian languages. Therefore, the first thing for us Chinese to learn Buddhism is the translation of scriptures. The Diamond Sutra is a very important scripture in Indian Mahayana Buddhism. Therefore, in the history of Buddhism, the Diamond Sutra has been translated many times, with many Buddhist masters and translators vying to translate it. Of course, through the test of time, good translations have survived, while poor translations have been eliminated. To this day, how many Chinese translations of the Diamond Sutra are preserved in the Buddhist canon? There are a total of 6. In chronological order, the first is the translation by Tripitaka Master Kumara during the Yaukin dynasty, the Diamond Prajnaparamita Sutra. The second is the translation by Bodhiruchi during the Northern Wei dynasty, the Diamond Prajnaparamita Sutra. The third is the translation by Master Paramartha during the Chen dynasty, the Diamond Prajnaparamita Sutra. The fourth is the translation by Dharmagupta during the Sui dynasty, the Diamond Sutra that can cut through Prajnaparamita. The fifth is the translation by Tripitaka Master Xuanzang during the Tang dynasty, the Sutra that can cut through the Diamond Prajnaparamita. And the sixth is the translation by another master, Master Yijing. During the Tang dynasty, the Buddha speaks the sutra that can cut through the diamond, Prajnaparamita. Among these 6 Chinese translations, the translations by Kumara-jiva, Xuanzang, and Master Yijing are generally considered to be the best. In terms of popularity, Kumara-jiva's translation stands out. That is, if you go to a temple today to ask for a copy of the Diamond Sutra, or go to a bookstore to buy a copy of the Diamond Sutra, it is almost always Kumara-jiva's translation. Why is Kumara-jiva's translation so popular? I think the first reason is that Master Kumara-jiva's translation of this scripture is good, and the Dharma meaning is accurately translated. Second, and more importantly, Master Kumara-jiva's translation is very beautiful and fluent in its Chinese language form. This is an important reason why Kumara-jiva's translations of scriptures are generally popular in China. Of course, in comparison, Xuanzang's translation has the advantage of being more faithful to the original Sanskrit text, while Master Yijing's translation is the latest of the 6 Chinese translations. Master Yijing was able to learn from the previous translations and examine their strengths and weaknesses. Therefore, Master Yijing's translation has its own advantages. This is the situation with the translations of the Diamond Sutra in Chinese Buddhism. Tibetan Buddhism has its own Tibetan translation of the Diamond Sutra. Even more gratifying is that the original Sanskrit text of the Diamond Sutra still exists. In this study of the Diamond Sutra, in terms of choosing a translation, we will first respect tradition. Since Master Kumara-jiva's translation is the most popular in China, we will still use Master Kumara-jiva's translation as our main text. However, for the understanding of important words and phrases, we will refer to the original Sanskrit text, as well as the translations by Xuanzang and Yijing. Now, let's begin our study and discussion of the Diamond Sutra. Let's first look at the name of the Diamond Sutra. Master Kumara-jiva translated the name of the Diamond Sutra as the Diamond Prajnaparamita Sutra. The name of a Buddhist sutra is generally spoken by the Buddha himself. In Kumara-jiva's translation of the Diamond Sutra, there is the following passage in the 13th section. At that time, Subhuti said to the Buddha, "World-honored one, what should this sutra be called? How should we uphold and practice it?" The Buddha said to Subhuti, "This sutra is called the Diamond Prajnaparamita Sutra. You should uphold and practice it by this name." This is the original text of Kumara-jiva's translation of the Diamond Sutra. In other words, Master Kumara-jiva translated the name of the Diamond Sutra as the Diamond Prajnaparamita Sutra. This was spoken by the Buddha, so we should pay close attention to this name. Prajna and paramita are 2 of the core terms in Mahayana Buddhism. So-called core terms are the terms that best convey the essence of Buddhist thought. To put it simply, if you don't know what prajna is, if you don't know what paramita is, it's like not knowing what Mahayana Buddhism is. Judging from the name of the Diamond Sutra, the Diamond Sutra talks about a very important Dharma door, which is Prajnaparamita. We will discuss prajna and paramita below. Let's talk about paramita first. This is a transliterated word. It is a transliteration of the Sanskrit word parami. Therefore, the first question that arises is why this word is transliterated instead of translated according to its meaning. Look at the different translations of the Diamond Sutra. Master Kumara-jiva, Master Xuanzang, and Master Yijing all transliterated this word instead of translating it according to its meaning. There are many transliterated words in Buddhism. There is an important question here. Why transliterate instead of translate according to meaning? Master Xuanzang later summarized 5 situations where words are only transliterated and not translated according to meaning. The first situation is called secret, therefore not translated. This refers to secret languages, such as mantras and spells. They only use sound to transmit energy and information. They do not require you to understand their true meaning. Therefore, mantras and spells are only transliterated and not translated according to meaning. Second, multiple meanings, therefore not translated. This means that the Sanskrit word has multiple meanings, and it is difficult for us to choose one meaning to translate. If we translate it that way, if we translate it according to meaning that way, we will miss out on many other meanings. Third, no equivalent, therefore not translated. This means that the thing or dharma meaning expressed by the Sanskrit word does not exist in China. There is no corresponding word in Chinese. Therefore, such words are often transliterated and not translated according to meaning. Fourth, following ancient tradition, therefore not translated. This means following the translations of the ancients. In the past, people have already transliterated this word, and everyone is already familiar with the transliteration of this word. Therefore, we do not translate it according to meaning and continue to use the transliteration. Fifth, generating goodness, therefore not translated. This means that it is out of respect for the word that we do not translate it according to meaning and instead use the transliteration. When one or more of these 5 situations are present, the word is only transliterated and not translated according to meaning. Then, why is the word parami transliterated instead of translated according to meaning? I think it fits 2 of these 5 situations. One is no equivalent, therefore not translated, and the other is generating goodness, therefore not translated. No equivalent, therefore not translated means that there is no corresponding word in the original Chinese language system for the Sanskrit word parani. In other words, the great Indian thinker, Shakyamuni Buddha, was particularly keen on discussing one thing parami, and this thing before Buddhism was introduced to China did not exist in China's inherent thought and culture. It was not found in Confucius, Lao Tzu, Mo Tzu, Zhuangzi, Mencius, Shunzi, or Han Feizi. In other words, there was no ready-made cultural term in our inherent Chinese culture that corresponded to the Sanskrit word parami. Therefore, Master Xuanzang, Master Kumar Yiva, and Master Yi Jingol chose to transliterate it instead of translating it according to meaning. This involves a major issue of methodology. There is a craze for Chinese studies now, with many teachers teaching Chinese studies. Of course, every teacher has their own strengths and advantages. We can learn something from every teacher's class, no problem. I have also listened to many teachers talk about Chinese studies. But after listening to many teachers talk about Chinese studies, I found that I have a disagreement with many teachers on a very important methodological issue. Where is this disagreement? It is that when many teachers talk about Chinese studies, their main methodology is to always try to find the so-called cultural commonality behind Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, these traditional cultures that have been passed down in China, to express these 3 cultures. In other words, they believe that the core values of these 3 cultures should be reflected in something that is common, or even identical, behind these 3 cultures. In other words, they believe that there should be something common behind these 3 cultures. For example, some teachers attribute it to heart, while others attribute it to middle. They say that Confucianism talks about cultivating the heart, Taoism talks about nourishing the heart, and Buddhism talks about realizing the nature. They want to use the word heart to unify these 3 cultures into one culture. Middle, some teachers say, look, Confucianism talks about the doctrine of the mean, Taoism talks about keeping to the middle, and Buddhism talks about Madhyamaka. They use the word middle to unify the 3 cultures. In other words, in the minds of such teachers, Confucius, Lao Tzu, and Shakyamuni Buddha seem to be talking about the same thing, just from different angles and in different ways. The search for commonality is a deep-seated cultural complex in our human thinking for thousands of years, and it is particularly prominent in China. Probably from the late Tang dynasty and the Song dynasty onwards, this idea has been very strong. You must have heard of a term called the unity of the 3 teachings. What does the unity of the 3 teachings mean? It means making Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism sound like one family. Later, After Christianity and Islam were introduced to China, a more serious term appeared in Chinese culture called the unity of the five teachings. People who talk about the unity of the five teachings probably believe that Lao Tzu, Confucius, Shakyamuni Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad are all talking about the same thing. Now there is an even more serious term called the unity of all teachings. In other words, all thinkers in human history, whether it is Confucius, Lao Tzu, Shakyamuni Buddha, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Jesus, Muhammad, Hebo, Newton, Einstein, all thinkers in human history seem to be talking about the same thing. This methodology of searching for cultural commonality is very strong. But today, I want to say that I believe that the core value of a culture should not be reflected in its commonality with other cultures, but rather in its cultural differences from other cultures. Difference is value. For example, we are studying Buddhism together here. Then, what is the core idea of Buddhism? I think it is what Shakyamuni Buddha actually said. What kind of truth? What kind of thought he expounded? This truth, this thought. Confucius did not say it, Lao Tzu did not say it, the ancient Greek Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle did not say it, Jesus and Muhammad did not say it, Kant and Hegel did not say it, Newton and Einstein did not say it. In other words, what truth did Shakyamuni Buddha actually expound that all other thinkers, philosophers, religious figures, and scientists outside of Shakyamuni Buddha have never said? It is what Shakyamuni Buddha alone said. I think only by clarifying this issue can we truly understand Buddhism. Therefore, I say that difference is the value of culture. Difference is the embodiment of the core idea of a culture, not commonality.